my March is construction. My March is development. My March is building out the content for the new site. And that includes the content for the retreat, the information for the retreat that's coming up. So when you look at your February, how did that go? And where are you headed in March? What is it in March that's short-term planning? So I'm doing my Simplero and things like that. So they're my short-term objectives. And my long-term objective is the retreat in November. Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, and practitioners, responding directly to the needs of a practicing natural therapist. With interviews, herbal discussions, something business, something clinical, you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in practice. So thanks for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for our episodes. If you'd like more support, get in contact, and I look forward to working with you soon. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. Well, how the devil are you? How's it all going with you? Here we are. Can you believe the end of February and the beginning of March? I cannot believe it. Okay, I can believe it in that February is the shortest month, blah, blah. So we got here quicker than we would normally. But I also just can't believe how fast the summer is disappearing because it's not really been a summer. I don't know about where you are, but every time I turn on the telly, there's floods and cyclones and there's bad weather here and it's cold or it's boiling hot. It's been the strangest summer, hasn't it? So here we are at the end of the month and it's time for our reflection and our review. And so we need to ask ourselves a number of questions and I'm going to answer those questions so that you get an idea and a feel for what I've been up to and what I've been doing. So when we're setting our intentions for the coming month, and mine is I've done a couple of practice runs with my new website, but I'm moving everything to Simplero, as I'm sure I've told you and I keep telling you. We've had a couple of practice runs, so hopefully in March, that's my intention that it will be up and running. Podia will still be there for a little while yet as I move everything slowly but surely over and try and work out the kinks. So what was something that didn't go so well with this Simplero move is I didn't communicate properly with my VA about the colors that I like to use on my site. So she's had to go back and do a number of things again because I didn't communicate properly. And communication is a huge part of what we do, isn't it? Getting people to follow up and follow through and do what we've asked them to do and connecting and communicating and realizing where we're not syncing, where we're not. So I had a couple of meetings. I was like, oh, I'm not too keen on the color and then didn't do anything about it. I didn't follow up. Only person to blame is me. So I didn't follow up. So I had to follow up. I had to make those connections. And so, right, let's have a couple of meetings and let's talk. And she's like, oh, right, yeah, no worries at all. Because I hadn't connected. I hadn't used my thought processes properly. I hadn't connected properly. I sometimes think that my VAs somehow know by osmosis exactly what I'm intending. That's just not going to happen. We need clarity of speech. And in my group, that's much easier when I'm working directly one-to-one with people rather than messaging or emailing. I'm much better at the spoken word. I'm much better at that scripting, at speaking, connecting, motivating through language. And that's what I enjoy doing. So I have done some of that over the summer, not as much. And now that February's here, I've had some really great sessions in the academy and in the graduate mastery program and with Clinical Mondays. We've had some really great sessions, really connected with the people in those groups. And we're working up to a few things, aren't we? We're working up to things just like you are. What are you working up to in your business? If you reflect back, what did you mess up in February or even January if you haven't done a reflection yet? What did you feel that you could have done better? And there's a learning. It's always a movement forward. All of these things are learnings. They are not failures, okay? They are learning so that we can proceed forward on this journey. What was my biggest win for February? Well, probably actually connecting again with the people in the academy. The academy is only open for another month and a half, something like that. And then it closes again for the winter. And then we'll reopen it very quickly in the autumn. Obviously, Australian weather, I'm talking here. So if you're on the other side of the world, you can think spring and, well, anyway, other way around. but we're going to close for autumn, for winter, I should say, and then we'll open again for spring. And the reason for that is because we are working on things. And if people are joining, got people coming in and out, they don't know where they are. And so they're like, oh, what should I be doing now? And stuff. We do have these 2 times of intake in the year, and we'll actually go up. So when I reopen in the springtime in August, the price will have gone up a bit. There'll still be discounts here and there, but it still won't be as cheap as people are paying now. Obviously, the people who are in it, their prices won't go up. My biggest win for February was reconnecting, was being back with my Academy members, was connecting with them and actually re-looking at my foundations and starting to make sure that things are flowing properly. Now, one of my goals in March is, and I'm talking about it in another podcast, foundations. So my goals are to make sure things run smoothly. So I'm double checking everything. I'm working through as I change from one system to another, making sure that things work smoothly, that I'm aligned with my business, that everything that I'm putting out to the world aligns with my values and with what I do and how much I want to support you to succeed in your business as a practicing natural therapist as well. What do I need to do to achieve these goals? I need to sit down. I need to stop doing shiny object. I need to sit down. I need to work through and look and think and go, yeah, that one definitely flows into that, rather than just, oh, they need this. Let me just create it and pop it up here for my people in my academy. Oh, they need to know about Google My Business. Let me put that up. Oh, they need to know about creating a Facebook group. Let me put that up. All of these things that I just create and put up instead of being really sensible about it. So one of my actions that I'm taking is I've signed up with a mentor for the whole year. So I'm in a whole year mentoring program, and I'll tell you more about that mid-year, because she will open her doors again mid-year. Because although I run a membership, I run a mentoring program, which is great and I love it, but I'm there supporting others. So I in turn need support. So if you join the academy, you get me supporting you very specifically around your business and what you do and providing those services to your clients. And so I need support around the business I run and providing this service to you. I need to focus more, and I'm giving it to others, but I need to receive it as well. So that's one of my biggest things that's coming up for me, is I need a longer duration of support than it's been a little bit piecemeal over the years. And so it's time to really just settle into one group and actually go with it and stick with it and work with that group. And so that's what I'm doing over this coming year. And while I'm moving everything over and creating everything, we had a very, very successful retreat last year here in Adelaide. And the online retreat was spectacular as well. Everybody really liked that. So this year, there is another retreat here in Adelaide, and the house is to die for, that we're all going up to in the hills. It looks utterly amazing. And there'll be the photographer, and we'll do the market, and we're going to be doing some of the same things. But the people who came last year are like, yep, totally into it. Really want to go back to the market, Geraldine. Really want that photographer to come back so that we've got shots. It was just phenomenal. So I'm looking at the retreat this year, and here I am in February going, well, I'm only going to do the one in-person retreat, and I never intended to do a retreat, let alone 2. So I don't even know if there'll be a 3rd, but go with it, see what happens. So I've got my retreat, but one of the learnings from that last year was that they had to be 2 retreats. So they had to be the physical retreat and the online retreat separately. Whereas last year, because I'd really priced it really tightly, I had to have them all at once. So this year they're going to be 2 separate events, which is also really exciting because it means that people who come here get another retreat the following weekend on all day or online, so that they can really consolidate what they've done and keep up that momentum. So it's very exciting. And although that's not till November, and here I am saying, oh, let's talk about March, I have to organize that. I've got to make sure I've already booked the accommodation. I booked that last November. I've got to double check the photographer is up for coming again. I've got to make sure there's catering, and I've got to make sure I've got my rest, all of those things. And those things all take time. So even though we're just hitting March, I'm really making those plans now all the way down to November, 2nd to the 5th of November here in Adelaide for Academy members. So if you wanted to come on best retreats ever, then you need to join the Academy so that you can come along as well. But that is, my March is construction. My March is development. My March is building out the content for the new site. And that includes the content for the retreat, the information for the retreat that's coming up. So when you look at your February, how did that go? And where are you headed in March? What is that in March that's short-term planning? So I'm doing my Simplero and things like that. So they're my short-term objectives. And my long-term objective is the retreat in November. What is your long-term objective? I have a lot of meditations and things on objectives and around. They're in the academy, aren't they? So, but what is your long-term objective? Have you got one? Are you thinking about it? And is it realistic? Is it long-term and that you qualify in 2 years' time? And so when you qualify, you want to work in pharmacy, or you want to have your own business in your own home, or you want to move into somebody's office. So is it really long-term? Or do you have something for this year? Something that might be you qualify mid-year this year, in which case join the academy. It might be that you're having a baby this year, in which case don't join the academy. Enjoy the baby. What is the longer term vision for 2023? Because we're in our first quarter right now. What is this quarter vision? What is that longer one? What's happening? What's going on with you? Write it down. Do some journaling. Do those dot points. Work it out, because it's a really great time at the beginning of the year. Our mojo is high. We're hot. We're ready to go. We can think back on what's happened last year, and we can reflect on how things went, whether they went well, what didn't go so well, what needs changing. And we're at the perfect time right now to be projecting forward in that longer term way. So although we're doing our first quarter objectives, you can actually be looking at your whole year objectives right now too, and see if they're different from when you set them in November last year before the holidays, because that's the last time I was talking about what are you doing next year? What are your objectives? So it's a good idea to think now, well, what did I think about last November? What did I write down? Did I do Geraldine's challenge where I made sure that I wrote out everything, and what did I do? And did I achieve those things for the new year? Am I on track for them? So I'm going to leave it there. I hope you have an absolutely brilliant rest of day. You know the deal. Follow, subscribe, do the things. Make sure you please give me a 5-star review. If you made it all the way to the end, why wouldn't you? You just scroll down on your phone, which I assume is what you're listening on. Scroll down until you get to the review part, and it's just in the same place. So whatever system you're on, I would love a review. So have an absolutely brilliant rest of day, and I look forward to catching up with you really soon. Cheers. Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.